Richie guys, got another product review. This is the UMIDIGI S2. This is a 4G phone and I like the look of it. It's about 140 odd pounds and I think it's a pretty decent phone. I would class this as a sort of a mid-range sort of phone. You've got that beautiful red metallic paint on the aluminium back in here. Now this is the full specs here. 6-inch screen, 720 by 1440. The Helio P20 octa-core 2.3 GHz Android 6.0, 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of ROM, 5 megapixel front and 13 megapixel rear camera. So that would be a dual lens camera on the rear and also fingerprints scanner on there as well. So you're getting pretty much a really high-end sort of features for a pretty affordable price. You've got a proximity sensor on there. You've got about 9 sensors on here. Now this is the actual phone here. You can see your SIM tray is there. You get your SIM tool to remove that as well. Up here we have a sensor and also your earpiece speaker, and on this side we have your power button and also your volume rocker button on there, and the actual cover on here works really well with those buttons. On the back we do have them dual lens cameras on here and the LED flash and your fingerprint sensor. I do love that red metallic finish on here. It does look really nice. Now this does come with a full 6-inch screen on this, which is 720p by 1440p, which isn't the highest resolution, but it is pretty nice. You got that bezel-less look to it with the nice rounded edges on here. It does have Android 6.0 on here, but there could be a future update which will upgrade that to 7. We'll have to wait and see for that one. But overall, it does look a pretty decent phone. You got your Type-C connector here with your one speaker, and this is just going to help you charge your phone and stuff like that. And I do love that Type-C connector nowadays. I think we're all moving towards that direction. Now the actual phone itself is very affordable. It's around about 140 odd pounds. If I get any promo codes there, I will give you those. But you can see there is no 3.5mm audio jack. You have to use an extension cable, which they do supply. So let's move on to some benchmarks. Let's run Geekbench and see what the scores are for this phone. So as you can see, the Geekbench score is on the single core we have 899. On the multi-core we have 3850. And we can take another look at some benchmarks. So we'll just let this run and we'll come back when this is complete. So let's take a look at the overall score, and as you can see 61,936 is the benchmark score. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the specs for this device. You can see we're running Marshmallow 6.0.1, which was released on the 5th of October 2015. The battery has got a 5100 milliamp hour battery, which is also a plus point, which means you're going to get long hours of usage out of that battery. We do have a lot of sensors on here. We have 9 sensors available to us, which is the gyroscope and also the proximity and some other ones. So we'll go through some other specs here. So let's go back and take a look at the camera. Now the camera does come with a rear camera. We'll just check this. Rear camera 13 megapixels, and also the front camera, which was 5 megapixels according to this software, which is always nice to have. Now the camera on here worked and performed pretty well in good lighting conditions. So let's move back here and go into features here. Now obviously it doesn't support NFC, as you can see they're not supported, but a lot of the other features are supported there. So I just wanted to show you a few more specs here for this particular phone. The CPU, which we've already mentioned, does have the Helio P20, which is the MT6757, which is a really decent chip. They seem to be using this chip quite a lot nowadays in a lot of these phones. It does have 8 cores on there, and you can see all the other specs on the screen. If you want to pause the screen at any time, you can do. So I'm just going to go back here and we can take a look at the thermals, and the thermals are all pretty good for this phone. Now I've been benchmarking this phone and I had no problems with thermals whatsoever, running good temps on here. So let's go back and take a look at some other stuff here. Now the battery on here has a 5100 milliamp hour battery, and the temperature on that was 31 Celsius. Now that is a really good battery. You're going to get some serious lifetime usage out of that sort of battery, and at this price point that's a really good selling point. So going to display here, 720 by 1440 IPS LCD, 5.99 inches. The pixel density is 269 dpi, and also the Mali T880 with 2 GPU cores is on there. The refresh rate is 53 Hz. So there are the specs of the display. Now some people may say the 720p is not enough nowadays, but I think that's pretty okay for this sort of price point really. So moving on to the stage fright. For all you people that are worrying about Chinese phones, we can do a stage fright test here, and you can see there's no vulnerabilities on this phone at all. Again, we can move on to the Wi-Fi analyzer and a dual Wi-Fi test, and we're getting a pretty good result here, and this means this has a pretty good Wi-Fi antenna built into the phone. Now again, we can do read and write for the memory and test that as well. So internal memory, we'll do a quick benchmark on that as well, so you can see the internal memory read and write speeds. So we're just finalizing the results here, and as you can see the reads are 201.68 megabytes per second, and also the writes are 221.79 megabytes per second. And we can take a look at the multi-touch here. As you can see, we're getting plenty of multi-touch going on there. We get up to 8 on there. Now stage fright, I'm going to take a look at this and see if there's any vulnerabilities on this phone. As you can see, there's no vulnerabilities on this phone at all. And as you can see here, we can scroll through all the content that we have been looking at previously, and we can clear all this if we want to, just like so. So as you can hear, the audio sounded pretty good. Now also what's pretty good is the streaming on here, streaming straight down from YouTube. You can see the clarity of that picture looks pretty good, and remember this is only a 720p resolution. So I'm going to go onto the news site here and check out the scrolling. As you can see, the scrolling works really well. Nice and smooth. And of course the pinch and zoom works really well as well. Nice clear font. The camera itself, it has a really nice clear image. You also have a lot of features on here like face beauty. This one here blurs out the background and focuses on the center. And there's some other features on here as well, like panorama and stuff like that. Now also up the top here, we have Pro Photo. And if we look at photo here, we have some other functions here, which are selfie timer, sound, GPS location, size, anti-flicker, capture number, and also face detection, auto scene and reset. So you can see we have quite a few features here, HDR and the flash feature there as well. And the quality of the camera is not too bad. It does pick up some really good detail as long as you've got good adequate lighting. And as you can see here, I'm just going to zoom in here, and you can see the prongs on this cactus can be picked up pretty well. And as long as you've got good lighting, you should be okay for taking your general snaps. So I took some shots of a cactus here, and as you can see, this was with the studio lighting on, and took a shot there. Looks pretty clear, looks okay, and these cameras are okay as long as you've got plenty of lighting. When I drew the curtains and turned all the lights out, this is the image I got by taking the same photo again. And I also put the flash on and took a a shot with some flash on there to see what it would look like, and that's the results that I got from this camera. And I personally think that's pretty okay for this sort of price point. I mean, you can take your regular snapshots with it. Now this is also some video footage that I took with the actual camera itself, and as you can see, the camera quality for the video looks okay. It's not too bad. You can see the spines on that cactus pretty clearly, and you can see me zooming in here. You can see them clearly there, and that was with the video footage that I took of this cactus. Now I did try to take some footage of this cactus with the curtains drawn and the lights out to see what it would look like, and I'm not expecting too much from it, to be honest, because most phones would struggle in that sort of environment, really, as you can see here. So that's what I got when I drew the curtains and turned all the lights out. Another thing to take into account is how much the actual phone has cost. It's around about 140 odd pounds. So this sort of quality of image really is not that bad, considering the sort of price point you're paying. A lot of YouTubers are comparing them with Galaxy S8s, but that's a £600 phone, and you can see here with the flashlight on and the video running, this is the sort of quality you're going to get. Now a lot of phones and cameras will struggle in the dark like this because obviously the size of the lens, it can't get the light in, and it will struggle. A lot of cameras on a lot of phones would struggle. As you can see there, you can still see the spines on there, and this is just using the flashlight on the camera itself. So try not to worry too much about that because I think they're pretty okay. Now of course it does play a lot of games as well, and I did put it through its paces when it comes to game playing. These are just basic games. This one's a pretty basic game, but it's really good fun to play, and you basically got to get down the hill without crashing and breaking your neck. As you can see, it's pretty top heavy and it will roll over like that, and it's a good way to kill a good half hour of your time. Another one is archery. It will play these sort of games as well, and it will play asphalt and other games like that with no problems whatsoever. Real racing and stuff like that, it will play all those games with no problems at all. So if gaming is your thing, then this phone can do all that sort of good stuff as well. And obviously Beach Buggy Racer, if you've never played that, which I'll give you a quick glimpse of in a minute, if you've never played that game, then you should be downloading that, because that's a really good fun game to play on your phone, and it's really easy, and you don't have to have much experience at playing games. It's a pretty cool game to play. So would I buy the UMIDIGI phone for myself with my own hard-earned cash? And the answer to that is yes. I would definitely buy this phone. I think it's a pretty good phone for the money. So check it out. I'll leave all the links in the video description. Anyway, that's the end of the review. I'm going to wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Now if you haven't subscribed yet, you can go to my main YouTube channel here, click on the red subscribe button, and also what's really important is hit that bell notification button, and this will notify you when I upload new videos. Thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks for your continued support. Bye for now.